Hi guys, I'm Con and this is Nikki. Today's Q&A session is a question we just received, and that is it good to warm up before exercise?
Well, if I had to say yes or no, I would say definitely yes. And the reason why is you don't want to be exercising cold muscles. You can actually do the same exercise as a warm-up set. So if you're going for a run, guess what? You might go for a walk before. If you're doing, chest press, you might do a lighter rep range to start to warm up, but using the same muscles that you're going to use when you're actually performing the exercise.
You've got to ask me why now.
Why is that?
Wow, that's a great question. Let me answer why warm-up is important. Okay, understand this. Muscles are a lot softer. Think of a piece of meat. It's soft, right? Tendon is harder and ligament is even more harder, right? Which means the amount of blood that can flow through a muscle is more and a lot easier than blood that can flow through a tendon or even a ligament. So if you were to pick up a bar only, let's say your normal set is a bar with 2 plates on the end. That's how you start. If you just start with a bar on its own and you're just moving it, your muscle will warm up much faster than your tendon, which will warm up much faster than your ligament. So what you want to do is do enough reps first to encourage the synovial fluid in the joint to flow around.
That's a big word.
Well, your joint space is called the synovial cavity, and there are sacs everywhere and they're full of this fluid, which causes like a shock absorbing effect and allows the joint to move freely. Then of course you've got the ligaments that hold the bones across joints. So between your lower arm and your upper arm, there are ligaments going from there across that area. So when your muscles are unstable or not fully warmed up and you go through extreme range, it's your ligaments that hold your bones together. So warming up slowly over time, and you need to do enough reps. Like in our routines, we're doing about 15 reps of a really good routine, really good weight, and we're encouraging blood flow to the tendon, the ligament, and the muscle. So then we know that those areas are warm. That's what it means to be warmed up. Now, I have a question regarding stretching. Is stretching a suitable warm-up? I remember the question is stretching a suitable warm-up for let's say weightlifting?
I think you're better off doing a set of that particular exercise rather than actually stretching, because when you're stretching, typically your muscles are actually cold. So, if you ask me the question, I know there's a bit of controversy regarding that, but I would say you're better off doing a set.
In actual fact, guys, your muscles have 2 things in it which are really important. If ever you do a stretch and you pull your arm back or your leg back, whatever it is, and you take the angle of the joint to a point where you feel a bit of tension. What you have is Golgi tendons and muscle spindles. There's 2 things that work together. As soon as the muscles are being stretched past a particular point, these 2 things tighten up and hold the muscle tight. If you contract against that range, what will happen is you will release the tension. It's a protective mechanism that the body has. So when you feel the stretch sensation, that's your body saying, hey, don't take me past that. So if you continually bounce on that, you're just causing micro trauma or little tiny tears to the fascia or the stocking around the muscle, and you're not actually stretching. You're better off doing what Nikki said before, which is move your joints through their full range under very little load until you get the warm up in the muscle, the tendon, and the ligament. And how do you see that? When Nikki trains, when she starts off, what's she wearing? A jacket or something, right? Yeah, we stay warm first on the first set. We keep the heat in, and as we get going, the clothes come off, and sometimes we get really hot. Yeah, that's what we use fans, right? That's the key. And if you do it like this, how do you know it's working? How do you know your warm-ups are working? How do you know? Like next week, the week after that?
Because you can work harder.
Working harder, but also you're more flexible without stretching. And there's less pain in the muscle, even though the muscle grows.
There's less soreness. There's lots of ways to tell that it's actually working.
This is a really important point, and we're utilizing this technique in our transformation. We're trying to transform without injury, without damage or anything like that. We know that because we get stronger and we're more flexible. So I hope that answers the question, huh?
Yes.
So that's it. Is warm-up before exercise important? Yes, 100% when done the appropriate way. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.